Don't tap the glass. Don't tap the glass. Don't tap the glass.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Side B. I'm Ashir,
Connor.
and today we're going to be doing a review of the latest Tyler, the Creator album, Don't Tap the Glass. So this album came out back in July, so not too long ago, July 21st, and it actually came out in the middle of the Chromacopia tour Tyler's been doing, so it was definitely a big surprise to us, I think, right? Especially since, the rollout was, barely a week long.
Yeah, and we went to the show, a week before this happened up in Boston.
Yeah. I remember him, tweeting, "Don't tap the glass," and, a few shirts went up. So I thought it was going to be, a single at most, but no, it was, a whole album.
Especially when you get to the rollout where the entire ribbon around the Barclays Center was, completely red with "Don't tap the glass" on it. You know, not many people do a rollout like Tyler does.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always liked that he keeps his rollouts, quick and short to the point, but this is, his quickest one yet.
Yeah, I don't like waiting, so
Yeah.
this did me good.
Yeah, other artists should take notes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's get started. What are your, initial overall thoughts on the project?
Yeah, so definitely something that grew on me a little bit. The first time I listened to it was a very early morning car ride, as Tyler kind of intended. And it definitely was, the shot of caffeine I needed to get going.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I was expecting, but I think that was in a good way. The more I've listened to it, the more it's kind of grown on me. Love the energy, love the production, love just about everything about it. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. It definitely grew on me. I enjoyed my first listen, but didn't hit like other Tyler albums have on the first listen. And I think that's because, unlike his other works, I don't think this is an album that I can just throw on whenever. I need to be in the mood for something that makes me want to, kind of dance or groove, be hyped. And it definitely, it hits those moods.
Yeah, and just the infectiousness of it is ridiculous. A day after this comes out, you see people dancing to it in the streets. Obviously, those pop-up concerts that he did where the energy was ridiculous. So that, as I said, I called it a caffeine shot. I think that's pretty on the nose.
Yeah, during the release on Twitter, he was talking a lot about how he really wants people to just move. Don't care about how you look or anything, or anyone recording you or anything like that. Just people need to be out there dancing more. And with those listening party concert things he was doing, I definitely got that vibe.
Yeah, and people were moving. You don't see in the modern day people unashamed just getting down to a song, but all these clips are just fantastic to see people back and moving again. So let's talk the track list.
Yeah, we start off with a Big Poe, which has Skatebird on here now. I don't know about you, I've never heard anything from Skatebird before.
Yeah, but some people would say Pharrell Williams is a pretty well-known name though.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think pretty awesome track to kick off the album. Love the intro, the kind of retro static, 8-bit almost voice. That really kind of sets the tone. And then once you kind of get that first bang, the album does not let up.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. I think it starts off really well. Lets you know that this is gonna be a loud album.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to move to it. Production's a little rough for Tyler standards, but I think that works for what the album's going for.
Yeah. I think it is rough, as you said, but as we'll get to, Sugar on My Tongue, track number 2, that absolute hook is just masterful production. Never fails to amaze me.
Yeah, Sugar on My Tongue, I think, is one of the standouts. Tyler's always been, crazy good with the synths.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't heard, stuff like this from him before.
No, and it's definitely a sound that I think is something that he could definitely get into his bag for. And, as you mentioned, the production is a little rough, but I think that kind of, rush nature of the album and just getting it done, it's like a passion project.
Yeah.
And you can feel the energy that he has going into this project, and it's something that kind of, blew me away the more I listened to it and the more I heard about it. It does not let up, like I said.
Yeah. Sucker Free was a good one also. It kind of kept the same energy going from Big Poe and Sugar on My Tongue. But we got to talk about Momma.
Yeah. I think we have differing opinions on this one.
Yeah, so this track, I think everyone had the same first experience, right? It basically edges you. This crazy, it sounds like there's going to be this crazy beat drop, and it's build up and build up and build up, and then it just does it.
It does transition pretty well, and it stopped playing with me.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think we could have done a little bit more with Momma. I do like the transition, as I said, but I don't like being edged.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It was like super disappointing to me initially, but now when I listen to it, I can like picture the mosh pit like prepping themselves, getting ready for Stop Playing With Me, which comes right
I can
after.
see that.
So in that regard, it works for me, but I definitely would have liked a full beat out of that.
And like as you said, Stop Playing With Me is probably the mosh song on the album.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I would consider it maybe the like poppiest song of the album, not in the traditional sense, but in the fact that it's gonna get those plays.
It sounds the most similar, I think, on this album to like some older Tyler stuff.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound too out of place from something that would have been on like Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
him like rapping and bragging, which he's good at.
So like overall, love the song. Ring Ring Ring, love it as well.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this to you before. It feels like you're in the 80s and you're roller skating around a neon lit ring. Like it's just it creates a very specific feeling.
It's a really nostalgic sounding song. I think for me, Tyler's singing generally it's good, but I prefer like the way he handled his singing on Igor, where he works on like pitching it and like bending it all sorts of crazy ways to match the song. On his last two projects, this one and Chromacopia, he hasn't been doing that as much. It's been his raw voice.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's a little hit or miss, but I think the way he did it on Ring 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 works really well.
Yeah, and I love, there is like kind of an archetype of rappers who don't sing well but do things with their voice. Like a Kanye kind of is an example of that. And then obviously Tyler's very much a child of Kanye, and then you could see Kendrick Lamar doing it as well. It's like to varying degrees of success, and I think when he does it on Ring Ring Ring, it's just, you can't really beat it.
Yeah.
It's just that authenticity that brings a little bit extra spark to the album.
It works more often or not, because like rappers like these, they're not good singers, but they're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you can hear that, so it kind of makes up for that like lack of skill in like the actual vocal.
And when you get someone like Tyler who's all about that production, he knows the limits of his voice.
Yeah.
And he doesn't push beyond it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good. Don't Tap the Glass / Tweaker. Thoughts? Tweaking.
Yeah. The return of the double song, technically.
Yeah.
Chromacopia did not have
a double song.
Only the vinyl like exclusive had one, I think.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty short one, but I liked it. It's pretty hype.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward. Like he's not really saying anything on here.
Yeah.
It's just don't tap that glass over and
I
over
love
again.
the intro keys into this, that absolutely electric drop. Like that is fantastic, and those keys have stuck with me, and I find myself just humming dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I think Tweakin's a good way to like outro the track also. Like it feels like a bit of a like explosion out into the like end of the track.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't You Worry Baby. This one has Madison McFerrin on it.
I think she had a great performance on the song.
Yeah. I think it was really cool. Like both this and the next track, Tyler really lets like the vocalists that are featured on here shine.
Yeah.
He often does that with his features. Like he will either build around them or give them like a spotlight when needed. Yeah. Or he'll do kind of like the Kanye thing where he'll use like a bunch of people and slap them in here or there.
Yeah, it's like, it is one of those things like a Kanye or a Beyonce where you can definitely see Tyler like slotting into more of a producer role, or even a Pharrell, where he's, like masterminding or puppeting a project with an artist that are being featured in it.
He's the conductor.
Yeah, and that's, I think this song really is kind of emblematic of that whole idea of Tyler becoming a, conductor.
Yeah. I really like the energy on Don't You Worry Baby.
Yeah.
It feels very like upbeat in like a happy way. If you know what I mean.
For me, it's like more of like a nostalgic kind of happy.
That too.
Yeah. Same with I'll Take Care of You. I feel that same energy on there.
Mm-hmm. I'll Take Care of You's build up is really good. Because like it starts with that like little synth melody that's like really reminiscent of like Zelda and stuff. Yeah. And Yeba's doing great, kind of singing, and like you have these samples kind of building up in the background too.
Those samples are fire.
Yeah,
I love that.
All throughout the album, actually, a lot of the like vocal chant samples that he's pulled from like classic hip hop albums and like other samples, they've been great. But on I'll Take Care of You, the way it builds up to these like super like eclectic drums like kicking in, it's one of the best moments on the album for me. Yeah. Then that leaves us to the outro. Tell me what it is. We were talking about this earlier. This is like, I think my least favorite on the album. For one, it's like super different from the rest of the album. It's very like mellow and slow. And I understand why he would go for something like that, but for me, it's like a bit too much of a switch up both sonically and tonally. To me, it really sounds like a leftover from Chromacopia.
I can see that, definitely.
Like it reminded me of what was the last song on that album? On Chromacopia.
I totally forgot.
You totally forgot. It reminded me of that though.
Yeah.
But I think that one executed it better. This one, yeah, I don't know. It's just not like super memorable to me.
I think not super memorable is a good way to describe it, but I do like, again, what Tyler's doing with his voice. I think he has, a couple things to say on this song, but it's not something that I can see myself blasting on repeat all the time.
Yeah.
So overall, thoughts?
I quite like this. I don't think it stands up to like his last 3 albums, honestly. I don't think it's like meant to. Like we said earlier, this was like you could tell this was a quick album.
Yeah.
That he wanted to put out. He was feeling some type of way, and he wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
He was recording this while touring. He's still touring,
Which is nuts.
Like, yeah, because he's doing like 2 eras.
His stamina is unbelievable, may I just say.
Yeah, the work ethic is crazy. It's a fun album that's like good to throw on. You can throw it on during like a cookout or something, or it's good dance club music also.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel like I need to kind of get into that energetic mood, I feel like this is a great one to throw on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the replay value is like quite as high as something like Call Me If You Get Lost or Ego or Flower Boy.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it says a lot about Tyler that he's able to, go on tour and make something like this at the same time.
Yeah.
But it does show that this is kind of a passion project. Again, recorded on tour, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Again, agreed that it's not exactly the same replay value, but I can definitely see myself coming back to a lot of the songs on here. Speaking of which, best song?
Best song. I'm gonna have to go with Ring Ring Ring. I think it was a toss-up between that and Don't Tap That Glass. Honestly, that one gives me real hype.
That's a banger.
I think Ring 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 is the better song. What about you?
For me, Sugar on My Tongue, international Munch anthem.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic song. Electric. I love the hook. The production's on point. It's really, when I think about Tyler, I think about a couple things in the modern day, and that's good production, how much of an absolute freak he is.
Yeah.
And this song kind of captures both of those things.
This might be his freakiest album.
By far his freakiest album.
Okay,
but let's...
4th line in on the first song, he says, "Eat the cream pie out in the backseat." Like.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. But like Judge Judy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you can make an argument for or against this and Chromacopia being his freakiest album. This is definitely the freakiest all the way through.
Yeah.
We say, I fucked that bitch, her fella, and that bitch again.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable levels of freakiness from Tyler, the Creator. But again, Sugar on My Tongue, banger.
Yeah, absolutely. I said my least favorite already. Tell me what it is. What about you?
I think I can't get over Mom and M's potential being wasted. I wouldn't, maybe not wasted, but not living up to its full hype. I think when you have like just a sound like that Pacific Rim like clank, you got to do something with it. And while Stop Playing With Me does give it a payoff, I don't think it's exactly what I was looking for.
That's fair. I thought Mom and M was going to be this album sticky.
Me too.
It was a very similar level of build-up. I hope he does a deluxe to this and just throws a bunch of people
and those
on
drums too are fantastic.
I know, yeah.
But what do you think just the best moment is overall?
I'm going to say the beat drop on I'll Take Care of You.
Okay.
Just the way those drums kick in and everything and just goes, it's so good.
Yeah, for me, again, I keep going back to it, but that hook drop on Sugar on My Tongue, those synths that come in are just, it's Tyler. If you were to bottle that and tell me this is essence of Tyler, I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, I guess with that, what's your like overall out of 10 score on the album?
I think it's a tough one to rank. There are a lot of really high highs, and there's a couple relative lows. But I think I'd give it a light 7.
Light 7, yeah. We're doing the Fantano.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm at like a 7.5, I would say. I think it is really, really solid and has some really good moments. I just don't think the replay value is there as much as his other stuff, which is why like it's like 7.5 max for me.
Yeah.
I think our average then is basically 7.
Just a
right? We
7.
can say,
Yeah. I think that's pretty suitable for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our first episode.
Our first episode, yeah.
Ever.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
If you guys are, like this type of stuff, be sure to subscribe and let us know what other albums you'd like us to review. We plan on doing more reviews, reactions to stuff, both that's new, but also just like new to us, like stuff that we haven't heard before. And we also plan on doing some other stuff, like I have some gaming videos planned, some Star Wars stuff planned,
Yeah.
right?
And we don't shut up. So frankly, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, I feel, and a lot of it's going to be hopefully very solid.
Yeah. We talk about stuff on our own all the time. So this is just like an outlet for us to get it out there and share with you guys. So
Yeah, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Like he said, like and subscribe, share this around, and we look forward to coming back in the future.
all right.
Peace.
See you guys later.